Hey, it's the Crude Project here, and we're proud to announce a partnership with IllumineScents. We're all about supporting local businesses, and they are a great local business to support.
My favorite scent so far is going to have to be the Smoky Mountain Firewood.
Mine's going to have to be France Lavender here. They currently have two sizes available. Smaller one is 8 ounces, the bigger one, 16 ounces. They also have these wax melts as well. We'll drop the link down below for you guys to check them out.
Stay tuned for our own personal scent brought to you by IllumineScents.
Welcome back to the Crude Project, everyone. I'm here with Ant and Kevin the 2 Cent, and as always, we've got a great episode for you guys. And
Brother, what's that? Another installment for the What's That series of conspiracy about the Titanic.
yep, that's what's that, the Titanic. So went down a rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before going down to the rabbit hole, what led me to the rabbit hole was the recent news about Titanic colorized pictures that was released to the people. It's floating around on the internet.
Okay.
So this was recent. So check out these colorized pictures. It looks kind of cool, man. Obviously the Titanic sank around, what was it, 1912 or something like that. So it was all black and white. Seeing it in colorized is pretty cool. We have more. See.
That looks like a freaking painting.
See.
Is that actual picture, you think?
Hard to tell, but apparently it is. I don't know. They claim these are all real. This man.
Oh, that's
right here.
definitely real. Yeah, look at my dude here doing the rows, baby. Sole reason he was actually making the boat move forward. He was the reason the boat was actually moving.
He was the reason that the lifeboats were able to carry a few extra people.
Yeah.
Yep. Good on him.
Good guy. What a hero.
Oh, little kids playing. That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, man. So
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool to see it like in color. You know, it gives it kind of a little bit of a life, a little bit of a different perspective of it, right? Because I mean, you get to see it like, I assume close enough to like actually what it was during that time, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Me too. So I don't know what the process behind making it colorized and stuff, but cool. So while I was looking into this, right, went down the rabbit hole because there's a whole conspiracy about Titanics.
Right.
Or Titanics. Titanic.
Yeah. Cool. You might be onto something there.
Titanics. Yeah, man. The whole conspiracy. So Titanic sank in 1912, right? 1,500 people were 1,500 people lost their lives in that incident.
Yeah, because they sunk in
North Atlantic.
Yeah, super cold. So as soon as they hit the water, they didn't have much time. Yeah,
just freezing.
Cold.
My man Jack.
Yep, didn't have a chance.
Rose did him dirty. Rose did him dirty.
We'll never forget.
Absolutely not.
Justice for Jack.
Listen, man, there was definitely enough room on that.
Was it a table?
It was a door.
It was a door.
There was definitely enough room on that door. She did him dirty.
That's the real conspiracy.
Jack.
Could he have survived? The answer is yes.
Jack is frozen. He comes back.
He's Walt Disney. I don't know. We're going off a tangent.
Anyways, yeah. So, all right. Some of the stuff is I had to write it down, okay? Because the conspiracy was a little too much. Okay.
I'm looking. I'm seeing this. This is some twists and turns.
Yeah. So, to get on the Titanic now, if we want to do a price comparison like back then, because you had to grab a ticket. Yeah, you had to buy a ticket. Now, let's do a price comparison. Someone did the price comparison, and to buy a ticket to the Titanic to get on there was around, in today's money, $40,000. One ticket. People paying a lot of money.
That's a down payment for a house.
Yeah, bro.
That's a whole down payment, no PMI.
Right.
Straight out the gate. And I got on a boat to sink.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So, you can obviously tell the class of people that were on this boat. This is not your normal, Caribbean cruise. This is upper high class people who can spend per ticket.
Per ticket. Well, in today's money, yeah.
Still, there were people with families.
Yeah. like per child and or whatever, you know, like
Hopefully got a half off deal.
who knows? Who knows? But yeah, so the conspiracy goes like apparently JP Morgan had a hand in the Titanic sinking. Now, I looked into it. How did he have a hand in the Titanic sinking?
Right.
He apparently owned, JP Morgan apparently owned a company that owned the Titanic. And therefore, JP Morgan knew about certain flaws or damages to the Titanic that made it sink. And that is precisely why JP Morgan said, last minute, I'm opting out. He didn't board the ship. Suspicious.
That's a little weird. I mean, maybe he had a business event he had to go to or something. Or...
So, diving deeper into it, there was also another ship that was very identical, very almost like you could not tell them apart almost if you looked at them side by side. That's how almost identical it was. There was like these what are the things called? Because Titanic had like 3 of them that the fumes come out of.
Oh, the stacks.
Right.
So yeah, smokestacks.
Yeah.
That
So
because I'm pretty sure these were still coal powered back then, maybe.
yeah.
Couldn't be sure, but yeah, it's an exhaust. Pretty much the exhaust vent for the boat.
So the Titanic had like 4 of those. We had a picture of it earlier.
Yeah.
Now the other boat that looked almost identical to it, right, had 1 of those. So that was the major difference. Apparently, this identical ship was called RMS Olympic. Okay? Now, the RMS Olympic had 6 weeks that it was docked when it came back from wherever. I think it was New York. It was another cruise liner or another ship that was taking passengers to and from New York, from England, and I think it was Belfast that it docked. Okay? So on its way back, it had an incident, whatever, and just to like keep it short, it had an incident and, you know, it had damages or whatever. And it came back. It was docked along the time that they were finishing up building the Titanic. They were fixing this. And so JP Morgan seized the opportunity to make the RMS Olympic look. He fixed it up. Basically, he switched the smokestacks and everything onto the RMS Olympic. He fixed the RMS Olympic to a certain degree. Second deck, I believe, was one of the decks that was a little bit different as well from the Titanic.
So he decked out the Olympic to look like the Titanic.
Exactly like the Titanic. And then he named it. He basically
put the name on it.
He wiped off the name of RMS Olympic off of it as well, and then he renamed it Titanic. All the while, the other ship
was still docked.
And that was the real Titanic, apparently.
So wait, why did he do that?
Well, here's the thing. The Titanic that was owned by the company that JP Morgan owned was actually the RMS Olympic, which was renamed to the Titanic. That's why when I said he owned Titanic from another company, it was the RMS Olympic that was renamed. That was the Titanic. So
wait, why didn't he get on the boat then?
Well, here's the thing. The damages to that boat was so bad that he fixed it to a certain degree, but there was certain damages that could not be fixed. So it was a lost cause. But he fixed it up to a certain degree that was able to travel, but not long distance. So tickets being sold off, people boarding, excited to go to New York from Belfast, England, whatever. And then guess who were the people that were also on board along with JP Morgan that was supposed to be on board? One of the richest family in England, in the UK, the Astor family, right, Kev? I believe it was the Astor family that was the richest family, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were involved with the banks. And so they were the richest family. That family, along with like 4 or 5 other families that y'all can look up the names or whatever. I don't want to dive too deep into the other families, but this was one of the main families. opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve. Now, J.P. Morgan and a handful of other people that were supposed to be on the boat as well, along with J.P. Morgan's rivals, the Astor family and so on. So J.P. Morgan and the other families that were for the Federal Reserve, last minute, they all opted out. Guess what was one of the other families that were supposed to be on the
Rothschilds.
Yes.
I remember hearing about that. I remember hearing that this was supposed to be one of like the craziest, richest collaboration at the time.
Mm-hmm.
All these crazy families were supposed to be on board. So
it still does not explain, right?
Yeah. So why, if he did all this, he changed the boat from, so the Titanic had some sort of issue or something.
Yeah.
But so he left it there. But then he swapped over to another boat that had more issues, made it look like the Titanic, and sent it out.
No, the original Titanic that was being fixed had no issues.
Oh, it was fine.
The one that he renamed was the RMS Olympic to Titanic, and that had issues. And that's the one that
he sent out.
That was owned by the company that J.P. Morgan owned, right? So technically, he owned that boat, right? And he had, so the way he was, because that ship had irreparable damages and it was a lost cause, fixed it up to a certain degree, but not for a long voyage. So the only way that he saw that he could get out of this mess was, all right, let's kill two birds with one stone. By renaming the boat, fixing it up to a certain degree, all of these people that were on board, along with his rivals. Bro, the boat was sunk on purpose.
He claimed insurance off of it.
The captain was also working with J.P. Morgan.
The captain didn't go down with the boat?
He knew about it. And so they sunk the boat on purpose. And last minute, J.P. Morgan, and his partners opted out of hopping on that ship.
Right.
And they made not just the ship, but their rivals go down. And then what JP Morgan did, what that did for him was he claimed insurance money of $12.5 million.
Because it was supposed to be the Titanic. So he owned the Titanic.
Exactly.
And he didn't have any issues. So he repaired another boat that was already half sunk, sent it out, claimed the money, and took away his rivals.
Yep. Because, dude, it was wild.
That's some super villain. That's some like Gotham style stuff.
Yes, bro. And that's the thing. Like people, like there's some really nefarious ass people.
Hold on. So I see. Okay, so I see what you put here.
Uh-huh.
So the boat sank in 1912.
Yep.
And you said these families are opposed to the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
And the Federal Reserve was founded no more than a year later.
Exactly. When they made landfall in New York shortly after.
Dog.
A year later.
That's kind of crazy.
After.
That's like such black and white, but I'm pretty sure by the news of the tragedy of the Titanic sinking.
Yeah.
It was probably talked about for months. This was just like, oh, Federal Reserve, what is that? Oh, okay. Because nobody really knew
exactly
what all the Federal Reserve was.
What's going on now to correlate kind of everything, like huge news that pops off, right? Distraction. People are distracted with that.
Yeah.
And then boom, what does the government do? Pass a law, pass a bill in guise of what the hell is going on. People are, your attention is being drawn here.
Yeah.
They're doing something else here that you didn't even know about. This was a great distraction for them to have everyone's attention on major news, right? And then boom, they go quietly, not so quietly.
Oh, dude, this was so easy to do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, they had to get everything through like the news or by mail. And it took so long.
Yeah.
Like, they probably could have got away with so much back then. So much,
yeah.
Because they didn't have any form of, like, major technology. I mean, it's 1912.
Right.
1913. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
And at the time, I believe Woodrow Wilson was the president, and he passed the Federal Reserve into law.
So the Federal Reserve is a completely private entity, separate from the government.
Right.
And I'm assuming, let me see here. Yeah. So I'm assuming that the Rothschilds and JP Morgan, I mean, JP Morgan's one of the, that name is still prominent today.
Yeah, I mean,
as one of the largest banking.
banks.
Yeah. The largest, not the largest banks.
Yeah.
So this was a major ploy to become sole, if not major holders of all circulation of money globally. This isn't just U.S. This is global. This is some super villains. Forget what I said Gotham before. This is some super villain type shit. This is insane. Bro. That is crazy. That is because, I mean, for people who don't know about, like, big names like the Rothschilds or JP Morgan and other various big family names, like, they were all had hand in this.
Yep.
That is insane. It is such a perfect storm. That's crazy. That's crazy to think that.
Bro, so it gets a little more crazier, okay? Just a tad bit more. So just the connection with the Rothschilds and JP Morgan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So some of the people that were on that boat that, on the second boat, the real Titanic, that actually made it to its destination. The Rothschilds, the way they had their connection, JP Morgan Company, Kuhn, Loeb & Co., all of these were the Rothschilds' representatives over there in New York to establish the Federal Reserve. So through them is how they established it. Now, the Rothschilds, bro, everyone knows what they're about, okay? So just to put it into perspective, JP Morgan and the Rothschilds put their GDP put together is worth all the money globally. Like these two GDP worth is more than all the money globally.
To this day or then?
No, to this day. These dudes are freaking rich. I mean, they basically they own the freaking planet. Like,
that's crazy.
That's the crazy
That's
part.
That's wild to think.
Yeah.
I own a planet.
And here's the thing. We do still have the Rockefellers as well.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Yeah. So the Rockefellers, we all know that the Rockefellers, they some
nefarious activists.
Exactly. And these dudes, they all about the oil. How did they get rich?
Oh yeah. They got big through oil. Big time, dude. They monopolized that, did they not?
Yeah. And so this all, so it all just kind of like, it was a domino effect, one after the other. And whenever Nixon came into power, right? President Nixon.
Okay, yeah, it was 60.
When was he?
I think
whatever. So whenever Nixon came into power,
that's the date that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I was close.
when Nixon came into power, he took off the U.S. off of the gold standard, and that is when everything went down the freaking shit. Money printing out the wazoo. And guess what that does to the dollar, the worth of dollar, and the U.S. economy. And
It was the start of the downfall.
yes,
Way to go, Nixon.
bro. Rabbit hole.
That's pretty
And
wild, though.
This is kind of like where it led me.
You got to think, like, the people who were making all of that happen, they were
Yeah.
playing chess for a long time. These are people who have so much patience in a nefarious way. And I like using that word because I've said it a few times already. And I love that word. And I mean, you have to think about it, right?
Right.
Like they saw an opportunity and they were like, oh yeah, there's no way I can't do this.
Right.
I'm taking out competition and I'm going to start a global change. They made a global change by sinking a boat.
Right. Getting rid of some of the richest people and then them in turn becoming, to this day,
The richest.
the richest.
Big money.
Bro, there's way too much corruption and nefarious stuff going on all around the globe, but this was interesting as shit. So for people who might jump in the comment section for this, who might say something along the lines of, it didn't happen if you don't have the receipts. Where's the receipts? Dog, those people, bro, if I have to spoon feed you everything, my God. Just like I went down a rabbit hole, bro, we in 21st century. You can go deeper down the rabbit hole than I can. So search everything for yourself. All this shit is on the internet. Everything is available. All of the stuff is documented, actually. None of this shit is actually like...
No classified information here?
This shit is conspiracy, but not conspiracy. That's how, like, documented all of this stuff is. Like, that's how blatantly clear the stuff is.
That's crazy.
Did we miss anything?
No, it just... That's crazy. It's crazy to think, like, how that could play out so smooth like that.
Yeah.
But that's nefarious.
So that's all I had for you for today, for this conspiracy episode. For what's that, brother?
What's that, brother? What's that? I'm gonna try and come with one next week. I'm gonna try and think of one and bring some stuff to the table. If you guys have anything conspiracy wise that you would like us to touch on, or maybe do a little dive on, see if we can find something different, or just give an opinion on, let us know in the comments. Something nefarious, if you will. Comment nefarious if you watch the video at all. If you don't comment nefarious, you're nefarious. You're very nefas. Not many people are going to catch that, so it's okay.
No. But anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed the content that we shared today, if you got any valuable information from here, if it was thought-provoking, if it got you thinking, well, leave us your thoughts in the comment section. Go over to our Spotify channel. Follow us for a great commute listen. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you.